Hello, good morning. Episode 9 already of the channel and my ultra training journey. I thought I'd give a quick update on where I am training wise, but also cover off two very topical sporting events in Scotland which have happened over the last 3 to 4 days and have been quite sensational. So when I started the channel, the plan was always to eventually move on to talking more topical things that interest me, football in particular, sport, and there is no time like the present this morning. Scotland game was last night, woke up this morning, could not wait to chat about that performance. Absolutely phenomenal. Quick update on training, so I'm just doing a casual, to be honest actually today's a rest day, but I wanted to do a reaction while everything was fresh, emotions were fresh. So I'm just doing a little recovery run, I guess you could call it, 3 to 4 kilometres, ticking over the legs. I've got a target of 45 kilometres this week, which is a gradual increase on previous weeks. I think I'm actually in week 11 now of training. This is episode 9, but a couple of weeks between some episodes, so yeah, 11 weeks into training, and I believe, hope I've got the maths right on this, but 20 weeks I think now till the main event, which is the Loch Ness 24 in August. So feels like a long way away, but kind of breaking that down into weekly targets, not so far away. So yeah, really excited, really looking forward to that. The end is in sight and training's going really well. But on to probably two of the best sporting moments in my life, one of which I was able to see live. So I'll start off with Scotland, which I watched on the TV, and that performance last night was phenomenal. I was trying to think about what would I like to get off my chest, discuss with that Scotland game, what would be the key topics of discussion, and it was so hard to narrow down, so difficult. And I think what I kind of reflected on last night was probably the biggest measure of, or most reflective part of last night was, before the game I thought we had a chance, I really did. I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. It wasn't the Spain team that we've played throughout my lifetime. New manager, there was a control about us against Cyprus. I thought, okay, nobody was massively impressive, but there was a control, and I think that says a lot about where our team is, particularly a Scotland team. And I just had a feeling about it tonight. I thought it would be hard last night. I thought it would be hard to break down. I thought there was some big performances due from a couple of players, and just phenomenal. But that was probably the biggest thing I kind of thought about, was it really is a huge measure of success, because okay, it's not the same Spain team, but it's still a top Spain team. They've got probably a couple of players scattered in there that might not ordinarily play, I guess, last night, but they still had a top squad, still had some of the top players in Europe, and they would still be, that team last night, a highly competitive team in a national tournament. No doubt about that. So, on my video cut out there, I was just coming on to say, I guess that's what's most impressive and exciting about still having so much confidence going into that game. And even during the game, didn't really feel under threat at any point. You know, we've got effectively a debutant goalkeeper, particularly in his biggest game for Scotland. Didn't really get put under pressure. Okay, they hit the bar, but then we had chances as well. They had a bit more possession, 70%, but you know, I think that's always a misleading figure, that, because we took the lead. You know, we're not going to dominate the ball going 1-0 up against Spain. No team really is. And for all the possession, I just thought we handled it really well, very controlled. And so we are in the best position we could possibly be in after 2 games. 6 points, big qualification campaign ahead. Really, really big. I was nervous about Norway when we got the draw. Odegaard, Haaland, you know, very, just very, very good team, and probably under the radar. They've got 3 or 4 top players, and I still wonder how we might fare away to Norway and at home, particularly with Haaland, which as good as Spain are, they don't have a Haaland. So I still think there's a long way to go, but you can't ask for any more than what we've done. A quick mention for Steve Clarke. I thought it was really poignant when McTominay made a gesture towards him for the goal, second goal I think it was. I know it's a bit of a cheesy thing sometimes, run to the manager, but I thought it said a lot that it was him in particular, because he'd scored goals at the weekend, scored again tonight, and he hasn't been in great form for his club, and he probably isn't going to that camp with a lot of confidence. I certainly thought his last few games for Man United, he wasn't that confident, so I thought that was quite symbolic that he gave a gesture to Clarke, and probably says a lot about his man management and his simplicity with players. I look at all the players in that team and I just get the feeling they've got really simple instruction, and task, because they seem to deliver it so consistently, and we don't overcomplicate things. And Steve Clarke's just been a wonder. Naturally, as the expectation rise with Scotland, the expectations for Clarke rise as well. But that just comes with the territory. And so now, you know, the players and Clarke have set a bar for themselves, which is great. But we shouldn't lose sight of where we've came from and where we were at the end of McLeish's tenure, and just phenomenal last night. But in terms of players, I couldn't really single out anyone, because last night everyone was magnificent. Angus Gunn didn't have a lot to do, but he did really simple things really well. Porteous, Hanley, Tierney, thought they looked a bit ropey actually on Saturday, a little bit disorganised at times, but wow, they were excellent. Second time that three's played together, I believe, certainly from the start. I could go through the whole team, but I thought if I had to really narrow it down to one player, it would probably be McGinn. I just thought in little moments last night, winning fouls, composure in tight spaces, creating space. I just thought his performance last night was excellent, and he didn't get a goal to accompany it, but I don't know, I love him anyway. I think he's a great player. But I just thought last night he was just the catalyst for everything, particularly in possession. Like I say, I could go through every player. They were all magnificent. Callum McGregor, quiet, does fill spaces, just excellent. Still having the energy he did at the end for that run. Phenomenal. Dykes, been unwell, comes in, puts in a shift, absolutely blown out his arse at the end of the game. He's not played, I think, for 4 or 5 weeks with pneumonia. Comes in and puts his shift in, puts himself about. Like I say, the whole team could go through them, but I'd be here all day, so I thought I would try my best to narrow it down, and yeah, I thought McGinn was superb, excellent. I just love the way he plays, the way he's just so physical and just so close to players and so strong. I was actually looking at his legs last night when he was taking a set piece, and he must have the biggest legs in football for somebody so lean, you know, Premier League footballer. His legs are massive, and he uses it so well for Scotland, his physicality. And again, coming back to Clarke, simple. This is what you're good at, this are your strengths. Just get your back to defenders, stay calm, find us a pass, get in the box, score goals. It just seems so simple, and that's what I love about Clarke. So yeah, summary of last night, brilliant, absolutely loved it. Great days as a Scotland fan, can't lose sight of that. This is probably, well, guys coming off the bench, somebody put in my WhatsApp group last night, players coming off the bench, the Premier League, Serie A, and these aren't just guys playing, these are guys that are first team players. Okay, some might not be starting every week, but squad players at a top level. It really is a golden era for us, and you know, you need a bit of luck qualifying. We aren't Brazil, I just hope we carry that bit of luck to get us through. But wow, what a night, brilliant, well done Scotland. And in terms of achievements, feeling it a bit just now. The other run back was watching Caledonia Gladiators win the BBL Trophy. So that was a game in basketball that I actually went to. If you haven't seen or didn't know, Caledonia Gladiators are a Scottish basketball team, professional basketball team. They play in the British Basketball League, only team in Scotland in that league. And they made it to the, I suppose you could call it the kind of league trophy, League Cup final. Hadn't won a trophy in 20 years. Just so happens that I know the assistant coach there. Big shout out to you, Darryl. Oh Jesus, crikey, a bit wet here. Yeah, big shout out to Darryl. So made an effort to get to the game. And if you haven't been to a basketball game, particularly if you live in Scotland and the stadium in Glasgow is accessible to you, it's to play at the Emirates Arena, which is just next to Parkhead. If you haven't been to a game yet, particularly if you've got kids, I would say it's an absolutely phenomenal event, spectacle. I've taken Ellie before. She was about 2.5, and I'd struggled to get Ellie to sit through a book, and she was engaged for about 15-20 minutes. Lost interest in the end, but there's so much going on, so frantic, end to end, so different from any sport I've seen live, and I would just highly recommend it. When we went to the final on Sunday, there was a couple of kids with us as well, my friend's kids. Ellie couldn't go. I think they were about 7 or 8, and they loved it as well. And they were engaged right through, so it was about an hour and a half probably all in. And the kids are fully engaged in it at that age. Highly recommend. And on to the game itself, I can't claim to be a basketball aficionado, so I ain't going to try and analyse it like the Scotland game, but even without basketball knowledge, I know that scoring a last minute basket on the buzzer to win a cup final when one of your mates is the coach there was one of the highlights of my life. I'm not joking. Like I say, I can't claim to be an expert of the game itself, but I understand sport, and so there's a general to and fro match, and the Gladiators are playing a team called Cheshire, who, from a non-expert perspective, were kind of dominating for probably the first half at least, and it felt a little bit ominous. And then towards the end, there's lots of videos on Twitter and YouTube and things, so I'll not describe it in too much detail, but Gladiators needed a basket to win. Beautiful play. The clock's ticking down, 10, 9, 8. I'm watching that, I'm watching the play, I'm watching Darryl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. The commentators speak during the games as well, which is great, because it adds a lot of enthusiasm to the game itself. And he's commentating, he's describing what's happening, and his voice is elevating. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it goes to the players' zone. Crowd goes silent. Bang. 3 points. All the players run on the pitch. Crowd, everyone up on their feet. Phenomenal. Phenomenal moment, as I say, in my life, and very grateful to have got the opportunity to see that. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I can't promise that you'll see cup finals being won in the last minute of games, but if you do get an opportunity to, like I say, at Emirates Arena next to Parkhead, if you do get a chance to go to one of the games, I'd really recommend it. Superb. And yeah, there we go. I'm going to cool down now. I've just done a little 4k route, nice easy pace. But two phenomenal sporting events in the last 2 to 3 days. I'm absolutely buzzing. It's actually quite motivating. And yeah, onwards and upwards. I think the next Scotland games are in June. Looking forward to them. Need to try and get Ellie to a Gladiators game as well. What a week for Scottish sport. Brilliant, phenomenal. We're absolutely flying up here. Danny Carvajal, sit down, see you later. That moment with Tierney, oh, amazing. So yeah, I've got a couple of routes planned for the next couple of weeks for videos. I've potentially got, well, I have got a couple of guests intending to come on, so really looking forward to that. Like I say, it's rough. I've probably got the maths wrong on this, I hope I've not, but I think it's 20 weeks to the end of August. Is it 5 months? April 4. Yeah, that sounds about right. About 20 weeks. So yeah, a couple of guests to come on, and as I ramp up the training, that'll be interesting. I really need some guidance. Big shout out to Craig Patterson who came on my last video. Really enjoyed that. Some of the technicalities around editing means I just don't have the time to film an hour at a time and edit it down. Hopefully I will in time, but at the moment I struggle for that. But a big shout out to Craig Patterson, because not only the stuff that he covered on the video, which I had great responses on from people, huge engagement, probably it was my fastest growing video. I think I had something like 90 views in 48 hours, which is probably doesn't sound great, but you know, in the context of the views I've been getting and the engagement, etc., it was by far the best. And so a huge shout out to him for his time, and appreciate it, mate. But yeah, some of the stuff that wasn't on the video was really useful, and the detail around training and diet in particular, how to structure your training, goals to set, footwear as well. You know, went into depth with the type of footwear he wears, and we spoke about that a little bit, again not in the video, and that was really useful and helpful. Preparation on the days of events. So just so much stuff that wasn't in the video that's kind of stuck with me and I'm going to take forward, and that's the point. I want to get people on to share different views of training and try and take that on board and grow and develop. So yeah, everything's going well, good week. Like I say, recovery run this morning, probably go a little bit of a longer one tomorrow, 15-20 kilometres. Not much on this weekend, can't go over the last few days. Thanks again for watching, guys, I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Like and subscribe if you can, and yeah, see you on the next video. Cheers.